They stream the tears and the cheers so clear. From the church to the pitch, they're always near. Tie the knot or score the goal, my friend. GVD TV's got you till the end. They stream the highs, they stream the lows, from wedding vows to final shows, through life's twists and the path it bends. GVD's there, it never ends.
SLP's Conference of Delegates in Vieux-Fort, Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre made a desperate attempt to rewrite history.
You will remember that the United Workers' Party only gave COVID support to NIC contributors.
This claim is absolutely false. The truth? In July 2020, under the UWP administration, 5,000 St. Lucians who were non-contributors of NIC received $500 per month for 3 months to help them survive the pandemic. Prime Minister Pierre knows the facts, yet he chose to lie to the nation. Why? To mislead and divide. St. Lucia deserves a leader who values integrity, one who speaks the truth, not one who tries to twist it. Pierre, pardon. We need real leadership, not deception. At the SLP
Caribbean American News Media, your Tuesday night power hour. Live every Tuesday at 8:15 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and GVV TV channel 115. Join your host, Garfield Olliver, as he dives deep into the latest inclusion developments, regional affairs, and global issues that matter to you. From politics to the economy, community stories to international headlines, we cover it all with real talk and real insights. Stay informed, get the facts, be part of the conversation. Don't miss out. Set your reminders, share with your friends, and tune in. Caribbean American News Media, the news you report. Caribbean American News Media.
Special good night to all our viewers on Caribbean American News. It is so good to have you here with us on the platform. We do apologize for the late start. I ran a bit late. I was at a meeting, very important meeting earlier, and so I want to thank you so much, my people. Please share the live and tag a friend. This is Garfield Olliver of Caribbean American News Media Platform. Again, we do apologize for the late start, and also I got a bit mixed up too between the time change and everything else. So just give us a few days and we'll be back on track. But to our friend, Brother Sauter over there in Dennery, we want to greet you and your family, of course. I don't want any problems tonight. So greetings to you. Those of you who are viewing from around St. Lucia, around the world, we want to say thank you so much. We're going to get right into the broadcast. Please share the live and tag a friend. I know that there is another event that is on live now. But let me just do these promotions quickly before we run into any issues here. Folks, we would like to remind you of the town hall meeting with the opposition leader, the Honorable Alan Chasney. That will be Saturday, November the 8th, 2025. That is this year, folks. And not only this year, that is this coming Saturday at 6:30 p.m. That's the 8th of November, 6:30 p.m. And the address is 1346 President Street, Brooklyn, New York. You can't afford to miss it. Come out in large numbers. Come in your yellow. Let's show our support to the Honorable Alan Chasney. Whatever you're doing, friends, just take some time off, run over and meet the opposition, meet the United Workers' Party. Let us come together, rally together. This is it, friends. This is it. This is the moment that you guys have been hoping for. It is here, and we're hoping to see your nenen, your cousin, everybody. Just invite everybody, my friends, to come over so that we can have a fabulous time together as we fellowship, as we spend time together, as we listen to the plans of the opposition leader, the Honorable Alan Shastney. And I just have this gut feeling that very soon we will be heading, I am sure, to the polls, of course, and therefore this town hall meeting is very important that you show up in large numbers. You come out and let us just do what we got to do as a party. So that is, my friends, the United Workers' Party town hall meeting, and it might be the very last before the general elections. We do not know, friends. The line has been drawn, and we got to get to work. To our YouTube viewers, we want to welcome you. And remember, we're live on GVD TV, channel 115 there in St. Lucian. That is Flow. I have a guest tonight, friends, and he is, I would still call him Senator. He is, he did well, I must say. That's just the truth. He did well in the Senate, and I'm so happy that we have a young man, a firebrand as far as I'm concerned, a youth among youth. I have followed him, I have listened to him, and I'm telling you that he has substance, he loves his country, and I believe tonight we'll have a good sit down, a good discussion with Senator Joshua Harrow. He is your very own. Many of you would have seen him last night on Like It Is. You would have seen him in the Senate. Champion of champions in the Senate, even though some of the other people who think that they, know what I'm talking about, he's able to stand up to them and, stand up for the policies of the United Workers' Party. And even when the government brings out a good bill, vote I support. All right? Once it's good, I support. So with me tonight is Mr. Harrow. I want to welcome him to the platform. He is with us. The video will come in, of course. So we're going to you're going to bear with us as we try to pull him on set. Okay, he is here with us. Brother Harrow, how are you doing? Can you hear me?
I can hear you very well. I just want to apologize for the noise. Actually, I recently spoke at a community in the Forestier community. So I'm actually in the vehicle right now because I did not want to miss this prime time interview. So, I'm always supporting my party and the candidates. So I'm always going where I'm needed. So I recently just spoke about 5 minutes ago.
Good. And I'm happy that you're there, so at least you will give us a feel, what is going on up there. But I want to welcome you to the platform, and it's okay. You're on the field, you're on the ground, you're doing what you got to do for the United Workers' Party. It is okay, 100% okay. So how are you doing, my friend, Senator?
I am doing quite well. I'm very much energized. And for those who don't know, I'm actually in the community of Forestier, the home of our parliamentary representative for Castries Southeast, Guy Joseph. And we're having a community meeting. And let me tell you, it's so electric over here. It's so powerful over here. And even spoken yet, but you can feel the energy of the United Workers' Party. And the people have just surrounded the place and they're listening to what is happening.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, and I know that you might have been the youngest senator appointed by the United Workers' Party. I am believing that. Is there any corrections to that?
Yeah. So by the United Workers' Party, yes.
So let me ask you, what was your experience in the Senate?
First getting to the Senate, it's kind of nerve-wracking because people don't understand that Senate is actually the highest seat in the House. That's why you have the lower house and upper house. Senate is actually the highest seat in the land. It's one of the final decision-making bodies. So when you're a young person sitting amongst, former candidates and these individuals, people who are twice your age with their house and their degrees and just a young person, at first it will seem intimidating, like, they're going to try and, power and intimidation. You know how Labour Party tends to operate. But when you really get your feet wet and you sit there and you listen and you actually sit in the Senate, you actually start to say to yourself, I don't think these people know really what they're talking about. And everybody sounds the same. Nobody is original, or somebody is drifting off the point to highlight the SLP, but then they're here to debate something that is contrary. And I believe that when you get in the chambers, you have to step away from the party and start operating within logic. And many people don't do that when they enter the chambers, especially the Labour Party. They push their narrative, but don't operate with logic. And then when you sit there and you listen to them, you self say, but you're just saying exactly what Philip says. Does everybody have their own thought? And when I sit and listen, I say to myself, my goodness, I always wanted to sit here, but now when I sit here across from I myself am so confused as to how they got here. That was my first thought on my first day. I'm not going to lie about it.
Well, I just sitting and viewing the session of the Senate, and surprisingly, a lot of people don't understand the difference between the House and the Senate, and they believe that once the House, what that is called the lower house, the
Yes, so yes, so lower house, the elected house, these are your parliamentary representatives, and these are the individuals who represent the various facets of the government institutions. Upper house is this known as the House of Lords. This is the final decision-making body, and this is the parties, opposition and opposition. They appoint senators. So you have 11 senators, you have 6 on the government, you have 3 on the opposition, and then you have 2 independent. So these will make up the 11 senators, and this is the final decision making body. And if something is an issue, then we will make the request for it to go back to lower house to be tabled, so that there can be an amendment or revised, and adjustments can be made before the bill is brought back. Yes.
Good, good. Thank you so much for the clarification there. So quickly, I want us to look at some of the issues that are affecting our young people in the country. First of all, we heard of the youth economy that the SLP administration, they're making it seem like it never existed, and this is something new to the country. What is going on with the youth, this youth program?
I would say it's smoke and mirrors, because let's face it, you cannot have an economy that is becoming so expensive to live and be in, and then give people the bare minimum and expect them to function. Let's go back to the United Workers' Party administration, where under United Workers' Party, in collaboration with the St. Lucia Development Bank, entrepreneurs and business personnel who wish to get grants were getting 10, 15, up to $25,000 in grants. That was under our administration. We didn't brand it as an agency because you have an institution already there for lending and grants. So we worked with them, and were able to give those grants and give those opportunities to young people. But when you go to a youth economy agency, ask yourself, how many of these have fully operational businesses? How many of these young people can operate in this economy? And then to also look into the situation with the issue between Venezuela, America, and Guyana, that's putting tensions on our shipping economy. Then you have to look at the tariffs that are being imposed by the United States and China and all of these things. Anybody who wants to start a business right now, $5,000 EC, not US, because that's about what, probably $2,000 or less in US to start a business, is not sufficient. And they say they're going to provide skills. Everybody's getting the same set of skills. So the youth economy is actually not creating any industries. It's more saturating our markets. It's saturating our industries with the same type of skills and the same type of enterprises that are being established. And everyone is competing for the same businesses who are also lending or giving grants to other organizations that are already established. So now the big boys and the little boys are competing with each other, and then we expect you to be sustainable? No, there cannot be any level of sustainability. There cannot be any feasible aspect of development. And rent in the city alone is skyrocketing. So how do you expect young people to survive? And they can barely even make $1,000 a month on their enterprises. So I just see that smoke and mirrors, because all this money is going into these agencies, but yet you don't actually have a youth economy. You don't even have youth sustainability or youth development. So how can you call it the youth economy when you barely do youth development in St. Lucia?
Wow, wow.
So
So comparing the SLP's idea for a youth economy, let's compare it with what the United Workers' Party is offering now, promising the young people. And first, I'm seeing a $25,000 to youth-led business. Do you know anything about that? I think it is a grant support of
yes,
25,000.
so people would try and think that we're going to try and kill the youth economy. What we're saying is we're going to multiply the funds that in you. We understand that $5,000 is not sufficient to start a business.
No, it's just
So
not.
what we're saying that we're gonna do is we're gonna up it to $25,000. And while we up it to $25,000, we're gonna rope you into the committees, into the sitting bodies, the statutory boards, and all of these organizations to help and create opportunities for youth to expand their network, expand their business opportunity, expand on the decision making body, bring their opportunities and their markets to them and to the region and to the rest of the world, rather than only being available when we have trade shows or showcases. Be part of the decision making body that helps export products that the world will love. So part of that $25,000 is the United Workers Party government helping you grow by connecting you, by advising you, by teaching you, and by building you. So that $25,000 is not just to go to equipment or rent, but now we're also going to give you networking opportunities and development opportunities, so that at the end of the day, your business goes regional and international. That is how you build a youth economy, sustainable development, and understanding as to what you need. Not a hand out, but a hand up.
Wow, and that's what we've been seeing so far. A hand out instead of a hands up. And I know the United Workers Party, they're very good on hands up. And the problem with our society, everybody wants a $500, a little $1,000, a little contract, a temporary contract, and they believe that that is enough to sustain them. But we're talking about sustainable opportunities that our young people can go out there and they can really, they have a fighting chance. Instead of a 5,000 or a 10,000, they're getting $25,000 in grants. So if I was a young person, I would prefer this type of approach, this grant support, of course, of 25,000. So the other thing that I saw on the United Workers Party plan for the youth plan, is the introducing of the national digital economy.
Yes. So I heard of this story, and it was somebody that I actually met, where a young person actually themselves coding, and in the process of teaching themselves coding, once they mastered that art, they were able to get work from international clients.
Yeah.
This individual managed to make 5,000 US dollars a month.
Wow.
No degree, no big scholarship, no nothing. They taught themselves a skill at coding, and now they're making 5,000 USD a month. And that's something that we recognize, that young people are talented in digital technology and all of these areas. And you cannot run from technology. It's always advancing, it's always growing, and it's always going to be there. What we want to do now is incorporate into the digital economy. Teach them the digital landscape and how to navigate through it, because
Yeah.
let's get real, we cannot get rid of AI. AI is there, you cannot get rid of it. You cannot try to ban it. You have to now either integrate with it and work with it to help create new ideas and new business opportunities, or you can try to reject it and watch your nation crumble. And just like technology, we as people must continuously advance ourselves.
Yeah.
So the United Workers Party wants to introduce this digital literacy program, because our young people now need to enter the digital landscape, whether it be by business, by education, by skills development, by work, whatever landscape, so that they themselves can grow and gain opportunities to become sustainable, and they can become self sufficient and not rely on the government consistently for everything that they need, but they're able to navigate through the network of this world, and they're able to create opportunities for themselves.
Yep, and I'm totally excited about this because there's a whole lot of money to be made out there, you know. A lot of companies are hiring people in the Caribbean, of course, to work from home. That is something during COVID that we, it was an area of demand, of course. People working not in an office, but they can be in their homes, sometimes in a hotel or by the beach, and they can earn a decent living. So this is very important for our young people. And the third thing I'm seeing is to appoint youth to all constituency councils and statutory board. This is a major problem for me. We can look at the Soufriere Foundation, and there are other organizations and bodies in the country where, well, once a party gets into power, they go for all the retirees and those who are already getting a big salary and pension, and they bring them out of retirement and abandon these young people. These young people are out there. I mean, and they're saying, look, we need opportunities, but the government is saying, no, man, I got to get my buddy in or my family friend in, and I believe this is very important. We need to get our young people. Our young people have the ability, they have the drive, they have the brain, they have everything that is necessary to be on some of these councils, some of these boards. What do you say?
I agree with that wholeheartedly, because you see, when you have 60% of our population being individuals ranging from 10 to 35, that says a lot. That is a large number of the population.
Mm-hmm.
And mind you, St. Lucia's population is near 180,000. So that should let you know that almost 100,000 people in St. Lucia are young people. So how is it that we're going to bring retirees and pensioners to represent the future when they themselves have already served and have become the past? Cannot ask people to come out of retirement to put them on bodies to represent us when they themselves don't even talk to us unless it's election time.
Yeah.
And the mistake that we always make is say we want to hear the youth voice, we want to hear the youth, but when the youth speak and they demand clarity on certain things, you push us to the side because some of them may not have degrees, they may not have big last names or anything like that. So you try to push them on the side and diminish their potential, and that's wrong. Every young person in St. Lucia, whether fellas on the block or those who are studying to become doctors, everyone is equal, no matter
Yeah.
who you are.
Yeah.
And one thing that I've realized is you can have the most education in the world and still be a fool.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of educated fools. I mean, I've sat in Senate, so that should tell you something. I've seen a lot of educated fools in my life. So I converse with the fellas on the block, and these individuals are extremely, extremely brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
But because you see them on the block, you tend to pass them straight, and that's the mistakes that we make. These are the young men that we need to be consulting who don't have degrees in architecture or these things, but yet they can build a home that lasts longer than what most people will build, like what they did in Derry with the shacks. These individuals build and they wire homes and they do so much with the bare minimum. So I want these people, these individuals on boards. I want those young people. I
Yeah.
want those young people who have a vision to sit on these organizations. And that's what the United Workers' Party recognizes, that our young people have vision. And it's also an opportunity for them to learn and to grow and understand really how policy works and really understand policy making and understand the essentials necessary to do great things. So this is a big opportunity for them.
Yeah, thank you so much for making that point. I have a question for you. Is there a National Youth Council still existed in St. Lucia? Because I mean, I'm hearing nothing about that this body, this council. Is there a youth council? A functioning youth council?
Yes, there's a National Youth Council here in forgive me for my screen going but yes, the National Youth Council here in Sita is functioning. However, due to the fact, funding and all of these different things, the fact of office relocations and the fact of just the intimidation by the St. Lucia Labour Party administration,
Mm.
they have gone quiet. This seems to be a major issue that is us in the region. This is a major issue that is plaguing St. Lucia. So the National Youth Council is there. You also have a National Students Council. You also have District Youth and Sports Council. So they exist. They are there and they are functioning. But they have gone quite quiet, which I see as a major issue. Don't more can I say about that because I myself have also been a strong advocate for them and the fact of them needing to speak out. But the United to empower National Council like we've always done. I mean, if you remember back in 2016, 17, the Party has always showed support for the National Council, known as strides of unity and all of these different things. So this leads on wanting to increase the subvention for the St. Lucia National Youth Council and empower the National Youth Council so it can come back into being that top body we always know it to be.
Wow, wow. Okay. So the Dennery, I grew up in Dennery South, and I don't know anything about Dennery segment. I heard that they got some sort of support from the United Workers Party administration while they were in power. What's up with the Dennery segment? I'm seeing that the United Workers Party want to introduce a dedicated Dennery segment competition.
Yes. So a lot of people, I don't know where we have this negative stereotype about Denry segment because every country has their own type of music. I mean, we know the United States has pop and the blues and rock and roll. We know the Korea has K-pop. We know that there's Afro beats from Africa. We have reggae from Jamaica and dance hall, and we also have soca from Trinidad. So music is part of the culture. Music is how cultures speak to each other and tell its stories. Music is how our ancestors during slavery spoke on the issues that matter. So Denry's segment, it's young people speaking about whether how they feel, they want to have fun, they want to, it's energy, it's vibe, it's us as a nation. You understand? So, and I remember back in my times as a teacher, I spoke to a music teacher and they were indicating to me that Denry's segment is not recognized, and I was offended because you have so many talented Denry segment artists who have traveled the world, gone as far as Dubai to represent Saint Lucia and all of these
Mm.
things, and you mean to tell me their music cannot get recognized by our own education system or our regional body, which is CXC? I say we have a problem here, and then now to only limit uh, um um jazz and these events to soca monarch and power soca, but you don't include the Denry segment, it's limiting. Denry segment is the youth's music, you can say. It is the youth's music. It's every event that you go to in St. Lucia, you will hear Denry segment. And you will always see the crowd hype. You'll always see how youth dancing. And you can use Denry segment in the classrooms when you want to teach a certain equation because the young people tend to remember it. So it's a way for people to express themselves, but you realize that a student might remember a Denry segment song before they remember a math equation. And like Elisha Norbert, the candidate for Mikud, the candidate for Mikud North indicated last night on our show, where he gave a little sample of Pythagoras theorem. I still remember the song.
Oh, you
I teach
do?
English, and I remember the song. It's in my head, and it's catchy. So imagine you implement that in the education system. You implement that for our festivals. You even go as far as putting that on BET and MTV and these areas to get the recognition, and you market out their segment like it needs to. Our artists will become sustainable. They'll be able to make money, and that same money now comes back into St. Lucia to help fuel an economy in the artistic sector.
So that is creative industry there. Thank you so much. And I think young people will love this one. The introduction of a mortgage guarantee program. I guess this is
Of
targeting young people. What do you think of this one?
Let me tell you something. I think everybody by the time they hit their 20s want to get out of their parents' house. That is, if nobody wants to stay in their parents' house for too long. Okay, everybody wants to get out. Pastor Oliver, I'm sure there was a point in time when you yourself said, "Boy, I need to go. I need to have my
Well, you're right.
space."
I actually started renting early.
You s- So, and that's the thing. We When you watch the region, you watch Jamaica, you
Hmm.
watch Dominica, you watch Grenada create these housing plans and
Oh
initiatives,
my, yeah.
and you see the picture. And
Hmm.
then you watch St. Lucia, and then you have had a prime minister and a housing minister tell you we're building condos, and then no condos up to now. And then you see three little shacks in Dennery, and you see so many different things. It's concerning that we want to say that we are at the top of our game. We have budget surplus and all kind of different things, and yet we cannot even put things in place for people to live sustainable. That is already an issue. So now that we're instituting a mortgage program for our youth to make sure that they're getting their homes, what that gives is young people a peace of mind.
Yeah.
No more spend $950 to $1,200 a month for rent, when even a small portion of that can go into a mortgage with the government of St. Lucia. You save your money to
Yeah.
be able to go, and if you want to go and further your studies to outside universities, or if you want to buy a vehicle, or if you want to invest in your business, and you have a roof over your head.
Yep.
So when we create that level of sustainable housing, and we make sure that our youth have a peace of mind, we're not just creating physical structure, we're helping with your mental health for those who probably live in toxic households that they need to get out of. We're creating a sense of ownership and growth and maturity. Now
Hmm.
that this is mine, I need to maintain it, I need to take care of it. We create pride and value within our youth because they know that this is now theirs. This is now their peace. This is now their oasis, and we're creating a sanctuary for them where they're now more comfortable and more invested in their communities and in their nation.
Wow, wow, yeah. Listen to me. I'm all in for young people starting early, but I think government got to provide the opportunities. When you look at the SLP government, you look at the ministers. Ministers are sucking up all the land, all the resources when it comes to lands and properties, and our young people are getting run over. And so I think it's a good initiative that we have a mortgage guarantee program for our young people. And so the last proposal, well, not last, I'm sure they have other plans for sporting and other activities in the country. And here I'm seeing appoint youth ambassadors to sports, entertainment, and business. Youth ambassadors. What are your thoughts?
Well, I love this initiative. I think this
Yeah.
initiative is my heart as a former president of the National Students Council and student leader. I was also part of the one of the first individuals, along with another colleague of mine, to represent Saint Lucia as part of
Hmm.
UNESCO in a certain program that they had initiated that just launched a few years ago.
Hmm.
And it's important that our young people are not only part of a leadership program in St. Lucia based on their desires and their talents like arts and culture and sports and music and business, but they now get to be exposed to the external markets where they
Hmm.
get insight into truly how things work beyond the borders
Yep.
and showcase themselves, their country, and also learn from others in terms of building. Because let's be honest, um they say that if your dream is bigger than your environment, then it's time for you to move.
Hmm.
And that is a phrase that I've heard a lot in my life. So if we're now giving the opportunity for young people to move on up the ladder, then it's now time for them to move on up in perspective and move on up in opportunities. And the United Workers Party now wants to help them move on up beyond the borders to go to Dubai and Singapore and these areas to really see how the business sector is working. So send them to the Big Apple and let them do
Yeah.
showcases. New York is the
Hmm.
capital of the world.
Yep.
Send them into the arts and culture and the nitty-gritty. Send them into the sports arena. You have FIFA World Cup, you have the Super Bowl, you have all these other things. We need to start exposing our young people to things that are beyond the borders and allow them to open their minds and their hearts, because they can now come back with fresh ideas. They can come back with suggestions, business opportunities, and ways that we can shift the market in favor of our young people
Yeah.
and the growth of our nation. Because this government brags about a budget surplus, and yet we're $5 billion in debt. We talk about we have a budget surplus, and yet we're taxing the people endlessly, appointing a 2.5 health and security levy that was supposed to be temporary but is not, and then talking about they have great figures when the IMF already indicated that they have inflated their figures. So when all of this is becoming clear and it seems as though we really don't know the truth, this is when now we need to put the young people in place for them to understand really what is the truth. And the truth is they've been bamboozled.
There.
So look at the policies. We're multiplying your grants times five. We're giving you the opportunities to represent us in your field and also learn. We're giving you the opportunity to sit on the constituency councils and the board. We're increasing subvention for the National Youth Council. We're recognizing Denry segment throughout and ensuring that it has its own festival and celebration. I mean, we're making sure that we do what we need to do to make sure that you're next in line.
Yeah.
And that's what the United Workers Party understands, that the future is now. And
It is
without
now.
that future of sustainability, we are in trouble.
Yep. And Senator, I know you're at an event, and I'm not going to hold you long, but there is something you mentioned. You mentioned the 2.5% levy, and you also indicated that it should have been a temporary tax. It would have expired after a certain amount of time. We heard the Prime Minister, I believe this week, saying that he never said that it was a temporary tax, that it would have lasted for 2 years. Could you clarify? Because I can remember the Prime Minister coming back to the House to extend the very same tax.
Exactly. He said that it was supposed to be for a short period of time. It was supposed to be a temp. It was supposed to be half of his administration tenure. And then we found out that this thing was extended. And then we thought it was going to go to health and security, and then it went to pay a loan that the nation did not even know anything about.
Oh my.
So yes, you tax the nation on VAT. You tax the nation in the pumps, you tax the nation at the ports, and yet at the end of the day, is those same taxes that we're paying, that we have a poor healthcare system, we have poor national security, and then we're wondering what's happening to St. Lucia. So where is this health and security levy going when our ports are now home to drug busts and all firearms coming through and all of these things that are taking our young people's lives, our hospitals, and let's talk about our hospitals. When OKE was built, they built it and they closed the door. Who made it operational? The United Workers Party. This is the same administration who came and said, yes, by October, St. Jude is going to be ready. Where is it? It's November. What's happening with it? This is the same administration in the last tenure before 2016 election said that they were opening St. Jude. And it did not open. And you can go on Emma Hippolyte's page and you can see a video where they were campaigning again and said that they will open St. Jude right after they said they would have opened St. Jude.
It was in the manifesto lunch.
Yes.
It was in the
So
manifesto.
it makes
I was
you
called a
wonder.
liar when I pointed out.
Well, it's on Facebook. So
Yeah.
you cannot call the United Workers Party a liar when you have it on your Facebook page and
It's right there.
anybody can go and and access it. So you cannot explain that we are liars for something that you have dated and put it out. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So again, and remember, this is coming from the same Prime Minister who sat in the parliamentary chamber and made a statement about NIC. And when our political leader questioned it, he said he never said that. But we have the video footage of you saying it but 5 minutes ago,
Yeah.
my brother.
And he's
So
been
how am I
denying a
supposed
lot
to
of
believe
stuff
it?
lately that he have said.
Yes, such as the $1,500.
Yeah.
There are many people who are still waiting for that. 4 years later, he said he wouldn't do it. The video and the information is out there.
Yeah.
So again, Labour Party will say a lot of things to hype people,
Yeah.
but then when it comes to actually governing the country, it's another story.
Yeah.
When our nurses and our doctors are leaving the country, you talk about the grass is greener. No, the only reason that someone should leave the country is because that your country is so skilled and already has so many skilled workers and so many skilled people that they have to go elsewhere to seek employment because they know for themselves that the government has created so many opportunities for young people to grow that everyone is so skilled. They have to move outside now to expand the empire.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why we should have any form of brain drain. But when you have doctors and nurses leaving because of the poor health condition, when you have people sitting on chairs for 5 days and dying where they sit because they cannot get a bed, when you have an administration that continues to push things back in hopes it will get done and has an increasing debt bill and wants to come in the parliamentary chambers and talk about debt surplus, we have a surplus of the budget. Even if you have a surplus of the budget, it doesn't mean that you don't have debt.
Yeah.
Because if you have a surplus of the budget and a high debt, it makes no sense anymore. It doesn't equate to anything.
True.
And then at the same time, when you look at the surplus, the question is where's the money coming from? Is it from the CIP? Right? Is it from what we call the high taxes? Is it from the 2.5 health and security levy? Is it from the taxes, the high rate of goods in the supermarket? Is it from the pumps that are extremely high? Where is the money coming from? Because again, you have to think of politics like mathematics. You understand? When a math teacher tells you something, they tell you that how you get they tell you how the equation will get you more marks than the answer in math.
Mm.
So if they tell you 2 times 2 is 4 and you have 4, they want to know how you got the 4.
Yeah.
And you realize in math that you actually, if the question is 4 marks, you get 3 marks for the equation and 1 mark for the answer. So even if you get the answer wrong, but you show you're working, you get the marks. So if the Labour administration wants their marks and wants the justice, show us the work.
Yep.
Show us how you got it. Where did you get those figures from? If you cannot show your work, then do not come and brag about your answer. Simple
Yep.
as that.
Yep.
And if you cannot do that, I like to say that what the Labour Party is doing is called mathemagie. That is
That's right.
mathemagie.
Yeah.
Because you cannot show your work, but you want to show your total.
Yeah, that's right. You know, well,
So
this elections is going to be interesting. Do you have any final points you want to make? I know that you're at event, and I'm sure you would want to be in the presence of the people. Will always bring you on anytime. You're welcome anytime.
yes, I always love speaking to the United Workers' Party, to the flubbos, to the labours, to those
Yeah.
who are not convinced. And I want people to sit down and think. This is just not just red and yellow, but this is the future. We're in a world that is in chaos as we speak, brother. We
Hmm.
are in a world at war, as some people would like to say.
Yeah.
And right now, the decisions that we make as a unified region affect us.
Yes.
So when now you don't work with the region on CIP and you're going to do whatever you want to do now, you affect our travel.
Yep.
So if we need to escape the region now and go elsewhere for safety and sanctity, we cannot board a flight.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or when you put these high taxes and all of these things on us now, we probably cannot even afford the plane ticket to go. We
Yep.
have seen what happened to Grenada last year with this storm that had passed. We've seen what happened with Maria and Dominica. We've seen recently what happened to Jamaica. You take all these things. Does the Labour Party has a disaster management plan for St. Lucia?
Mm.
And how much have they put into that account? Because recently we've seen Jamaica had a $150 million US insurance plan in terms of
Yes.
its disaster. So my question
Yes.
is, does the Labour Party have that? If you
Mm-hmm.
can spend so much money on the ground to get votes, you should be able to spend some money to put a disaster plan in place. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, anything can hit St. Lucia. That storm hit us as a storm and became a Category 5 later on.
Oh
Who's to
my.
say what possibilities it can have for St. Lucia and the devastation it can cause? And then we have to go back to the same IMF who we've probably lied to about figures and say we need money to fix St. Lucia. So
Yeah.
then where was the CIP money going to? Where are the billions of dollars going to? So truly, my people, wake up. I understand maybe your family is a labor but let's wake up. Our future is in jeopardy. Our education system. St. Lucia is literally ranked in 154 for 155th in the world in terms of IQ, and this measures 190 countries. So that says a lot.
It does.
So
It does.
we really need to change the way that we see things. We need to change the way that we see our airlines. Let's go to Germany and get Lufthansa. Let's go to get Air Portugal. Let's go to KLM and Air France. I mean, we are 7 times British, 7 times French, and we haven't had one French airline come and land at Heathrow Nora Airport yet. What are we doing in terms of our aviation sector? What are we doing in terms of our tourism sector? Let us stop thinking small. Let us think big. We may be a small island, but we just had a gold medalist and a silver medalist at the Olympics.
That's
We
right.
have 2 Olympic medals. We have 2 Nobel laureates. We have 2 PTORs. We have 2 airports. So St. Lucia needs to double up on its response to the world and double up on how it manages its affair and double up on the potential of our young people and the future of this country. Because if we do not do that, and if we allow this Labour Party administration to come back into power, we are going to be in so much deep trouble, especially as what's happening with Venezuela and the United States. It will be impossible for us to escape.
Yep. Yep. So
So,
your advice is
that's
vote code yellow.
my advice is not just vote code yellow today, tomorrow, and for the next 5 general elections, so that we can
Amen.
fix things, right the wrongs, and make sure we double or triple our GDP and ensure we are on par with the best of the best. Because Singapore understood what Sir Arthur Lewis was trying to do for St. Lucia, and we ignored him. So let's not make that mistake. Let us right the wrong. John Compton already wrote the blueprint for St. Lucia that Allen was following, that even Stevenson King himself was following, and he will never admit that, but he was following it too. So
Yep.
if a man who can go from the mailroom to a minister and later a traitor, then you can go from the bottom to the top, and the United Workers' Party will ensure that they see the vision and make sure that we right the wrong and help our young people become the next leaders of St. Lucia. You have to vote code yellow and ensure that there is continuous development in St. Lucia. No more propaganda, no talking about everybody's mother, father, skin color. Let's not promote any racism, any form of gender bias, none of that. Let us be real politicians, diplomats. Let us debate with respect and ensure that we get the point across. The United Workers' Party doesn't have time for propaganda politics. We only have time for purpose and prosperity.
Thank you so much, Senator. Thank you so much for your encouragement. I look forward to meeting you in person. Looking forward to having you back on the system when you are in a different location. But give our regards to Mr. Joseph and the folks over there at the meeting, the public meeting tonight. Thank you so much for being here with us, Senator.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.
It's a pleasure. Thank you. Good. Thank you so much. Folks, that was Senator Harrow, young senator, a powerful upcoming leader in the United Workers' Party. The future is indeed bright with our party. The future is bright. Yeah, is bright. And so thank you so much, Senator Harrow. He, of course, we have a new batch of senators, but I will ever call him Senator Harrow. He represented well on behalf of the United Workers' Party. So to those of you who are in Forrester, who are at the event with Mr. Guy Joseph, we know many of you are viewing over there. So we want to thank you so much for being out there even tonight when you should have been in your bed. You are over there speaking to the citizens of St. Lucia. We want to remind you of this coming Saturday, the town hall meeting with the opposition leader of St. Lucia, that is the Honorable, the Right Honorable, Mr. Alan Chastney, will be in person in Brooklyn, New York. And like I said to all of you, you got to come out in large numbers. Bring your children. Let them come out to hear the plans that Mr. Chastney and the United Workers' Party and the team have for St. Lucia. I want to say to you that it is going to be a clean event. You can bring your children. There are some events, political events, you just can't take your children there. Here is one where you can bring the young people out, bring your husband, bring your cousin, bring your neighbor. We are going to show up. The code is yellow. So you got to come in yellow. Again, the code is yellow. You must come in yellow. All right? Come in yellow. All right? Macy's have sale. There's yellow sale all over the place. Come in your yellow. Pull out the yellow and let us get to work. On Saturday evening, we're going to have a beautiful time with our political leader, the Honorable Alan Chasney. It is called Yellow Time, friends. The line has been drawn, and the party, the United Workers' Party, they are stronger than ever, and they are ready anytime, any Monday going forward that Mr. Pear calls the elections. The people of St. Lucia, the United Workers' Party, will be ready to answer the call. All our candidates are in place. Our policy position are in place. Our machine is well oiled and just waiting for that bell to ring. If you think that you have seen Flambeaus, you just wait until Mr. Prime Minister ring that bell. You just wait until he ring that bell, and you will see the power and the might of Code Yellow, the United Workers' Party. Let's take this call. Caller, you on the air. Caribbean American News Media Platform.
Good evening, Brother Garfield. How are you doing?
Oh, not bad at all. This is Dr. Ian.
Thank you. This is Ian.
And you know what Ian is going to do? Ian is going to give us the date. No, he's not going to do that. Please, leave him alone.
No. I will not give any dates because, you see, once the Prime Minister hears I give a date, he changes his mind because from all indications, his intention was to ring the bell on Sunday, but I blow his whistle, and he decided, okay, let me just hold back on that. So I am not saying anything about the election date, but to remind, just what you just said, that to echo your sentiments, that this coming Saturday will be the town hall meeting of all town hall meetings, where your leader, the Honorable Alan Chasney, the leader of the opposition, and in a few weeks' time, will be the next Prime Minister of St. Lucia, will be in Brooklyn, New York. And the venue will be at 1346 President Street, Brooklyn, New York. We're scheduled to start at 6:30 p.m. It's an opportunity for you to ask the leader of the opposition questions as to his vision, his plans for the country, his plans for how he's going to take this country out of the rut that it found itself in. You're going to meet your UWP colleagues. It's a fun, it's going to be an educational at the same time. There's going to be lots of camaraderie. You can come and socialize. Yellow is the code, like Brother Garfield indicated. Dress in yellow. We are going to fill that hall with a sea of yellow. From inside, from outside, it's going to be live on Brother Garfield's Caribbean American News Network and on GVD TV. I don't know if Brother Garfield wants to indicate that, but you can give shout-outs to your family members back home in St. Lucia. They're going to be live interviews. I am so excited, Brother Garfield. I don't know about you, but I'm very excited for Saturday.
I can hear it in your voice, and I'm excited too. What I can tell you is that before the event, we will be turning the live on so that people can greet their relatives overseas. They can interact on the platform. They can, just come and the mic will be open at that time before the event. So come early so that there's going to be food, of course, and drinks on sale at the event. It is going to be big. We are looking at the space to see whether we will have to do, maybe get a bigger television put outside or somewhere, but we know that the code is yellow in New York, Connecticut, and all the other states are coming in. The Bronx and New Jersey, they're coming in to New York, and so it's going to be a big event, folks. If you miss this, you're going to blame yourself. Miss it, ek blame call. Don't blame us because the opposition leader is here. The stage has been set, folks. And now it is your turn to show up in your color. Come in your code yellow, friends. Come in your socks yellow, your shoe yellow. your teeth yellow, your eye yellow, your nose yellow. Come with your yellow hair, everything. Come all. Bring your children. Minute Tut Moon on Saturday night. It's going to be big. It's going to be a very big event, and we're going to have a beautiful time with the opposition leader, the Honorable Alan Shastner. I know Ian is going to be there, but I'm looking forward to meeting as many of you as possible. Ian.
And that is true. And you know what I love about this event? Contrary to the Labour Party's rhetoric, we are united people. We are a united party with one cause. That is to get rid of the St. Lucia Labour Party.
Now they
and
think
on Saturday,
they think there's so much ro that the New York Basin, we're not united and we're fighting. No. We can do both things at the same time. By the way, we're not even fighting. But if we want to fight, that's our business. But I am saying to you that we are united, we are together, and there is no bickering, there is no halikase. We are together. Why? Because the line has been drawn. Code yellow. Ian.
Code yellow. And not only that, if what I'm hearing is true, that the bell possibly might be rung on Sunday, then we have to activate the code, which is yellow. And so Saturday, this coming Saturday, will be an example. We're going to show the Labour Party how it's done. We're going to show the Labour Party that we are united people. We're going to demonstrate to the St. Lucia Labour Party that, look here, we are taking back our country. St. Lucia does not belong to you, Ernest Hilaire. St. Lucia does not belong to you, Philippe J. Pierre. St. Lucia does not belong to you, Richard Frederick, and the list goes on and on. St. Lucia belongs to St. Lucians, and we in the diaspora, we are trendsetters. We are setting the tone for what will happen in St. Lucia when that bell is rung. And I'm saying to you, St. Lucia, those of you who are listening, those of you who reside in New York City, those of you who reside in New Jersey, those of you who reside in Connecticut, those of you who reside in Texas, you cannot miss Saturday. This is where the action is. The action is this coming Saturday in Brooklyn, New York, where your Prime Minister, and I say Prime Minister, the Honorable Alan Shastner, will be in Brooklyn, New York this coming Saturday at the mother of all town hall meetings at 6:30. 6:30. You have an opportunity to meet and greet with your political leader and the Prime Minister, the next Prime Minister. You have an opportunity to ask him questions. What is his vision for the country? And I'm saying to you, St. Lucia, you cannot miss it. Miss it, and you only have yourselves to be blamed. Have a blessed evening, Brother Garfield.
Thank you so much, Ian. All right. And to the contrary of what people are saying, nobody is stopping anyone from asking any questions. Come. But be respectful. And watch your manners, of course, but all are welcome. Leave the mother and the cousin and the white and the black talk. Leave that for the garbage dump and come and have decent conversations. Ask sensible questions, of course. Come and engage on policies and policy issues. And don't come there, folks, to ask him or to give me and to talk about his cousin, his color, and all this kind of stuff. We don't have, hello, this is serious stuff. This is called Code Yellow. You understand what I'm saying? There is no nastiness in the Code Yellow. So just come respectful and you will be all right. Yes, we'll ensure that you are okay. All are welcome. Let me say something to you folks. There's a lot of stuff happening that I need to maybe just touch on before we go off the air at some point tonight. Now, let me start with the court case, the CIP court case with Mr. Alan Shastner and Mr. Hilaire. I heard Mr. Hilaire saying to the St. Lucian people that the government was vindicated. Vindicated from what? That's what I want to ask you guys. Vindicated from what? Where's the vindication? You guys are slick, of course. Yes, you are. Most of the areas of challenge, you know what you guys did in the lawsuit? All the areas where Mr. Shastner challenged you guys, You guys ran ahead and start canceling contracts and canceling BMAX and canceling this and canceling that. All those points, you know. But now you're coming to say you were vindicated. I'm asking you, vindicated from what? When you, the very same concerns that Mr. Shastney brought up, you guys went ahead and cleaned it up. Huh? Where's the canals? Where is the hotel? How far it is? What is going on with the hotel up there? Is it going to be finished this year? When is the BMAX project is going to finish? The BMAX housing. I heard the Prime Minister saying there's no BMAX project. What BMAX? You told us, Mr. Prime Minister. You told us that you have this CIP BMAX had a contract and you went to the you did something. We had an issue where you went to the Gazette and you backdated the thing and blah blah blah. You remember all that story we were discussing with the BMAX housing project in Rock Hall? But now you're saying to us what BMAX project you guys are talking about, as those the St. Lucian people, and I don't like what you politicians are doing with the people. You're making the people believe that they have lost their minds and they're just cuckoo for Cuckoo Pops. That's what you're making them believe. We discussed this same BMAX situation contract right here on this platform. We did. You told us that BMAX was going to be the one constructing housing up there in Rock Hall, and all of a sudden you're telling us, you're asking us what BMAX? If you fire them, which you did, you canceled the contract, and you got somebody else to do it, tell us. But don't play us for fools. Come to the people and tell the people, and anytime any government start playing with the minds of the people like that, it is time to reset. It is time to remove them. It is time to activate an opposite color to their color. And the opposite color is called yellow. Because you guys are not coding at all. You're not in a good mood. Your red mood is not mooding. And that's a fact. You're misleading the people. And not if you think that is bad enough. You went in the House last week and you said, oh yeah, you brought some new legislation or whatever it is to say, well, we're going to join the CARICOM regulatory body for CIP, and these are some of the things that they're asking us to do, and we are passing it in the House. The opposition leader spoke about those very same things. Those are the concerns he had. Now you're blaming him because you are forced now to implement all what he was asking you to implement to protect the people of St. Lucia and the patrimony of the citizens. Now, you pretended like nothing happened. It is Shastney's fault that we got to sign. That's what you guys are saying, you know. No, we're not fools. That's what they're saying to us. It is because of Shastney we have to sign. I heard he said Shastney sided with those people out there, and the investors were afraid, and they say if your people are saying things are not good in CIP, things were not good. Period. Things were not good in CIP. Now you are being forced to make it good. Thanks to the pressure from the Honorable Alan Shastney and the United Workers' Party. And I am ever proud of them. And thanks to Mr. Martinez. You don't like to hear that, you hacks. But thanks to him that you guys were challenged, and you had to dance. And what is happening now? You go back into your same house where you were arguing. Every time Mr. Alan Shastney correct you guys and pull you guys up, after 6 months you always come back to the same place after you tell him he's white and he had short pants on Creole Day and he was not one of us, he's not one of us. After you've said all that, you still got to go back and deal with his concerns. Eggs up and hot, because while you're doing it, you're kicking up a storm like a spoiled child, but you got to sign it. Yeah, you got to sign it. You have no choice. It is unsustainable what you are doing. unsustainable. And you jeopardize the free movement of St. Lucians around the world. Yes, you did. Because you were not listening at the beginning. You were busy telling him how white he was. And now, I saw you in the house. It's like you're dragging the child and to get this thing done, man. Fix that. And you're screaming, and you're screaming like a spoiled child. But you have to pass. You got to pass it in your house. Because what we were saying to you that was happening from the European Union, in the United States, the concerns that these people have, it was real. It was not manufactured. It was not a manufactured concern. It was real. Mr. Shasta has not lost his marbles like some people. He is still in a song mind. He still have been given the song mind and has not been given the spirit of fear. And so he won as far as I'm concerned. Because all the concerns, you're doing it right now. But you had to put up a show to show your supporters and your hacks that it's Shasta, but we're going to do it still, but it's Shasta, not that stuff. But you see what he calls us to do? You like a little child. You see what he made me do? We have to sign the thing now. But you're signing and you're complaining, you're grumbling, but you got to sign. You got to make changes. Yeah. Yes, you got to. You got to. So we won. The people won. So go eat yourself and throw all your storm. And by the way, Prime Minister got confused this week. Prime Minister said, by the way, let's go to, folks, Mr. Guy's having a program, and I really want you guys to see the program over there. And I don't want to disadvantage any of you, so we're going to be very short tonight. Sweet and to the point. As a good one. And they can always come back and look at the show. The hacks look at it. You can come back and look too. Listen, let us go to the press conference with the Prime Minister for a few minutes. Now, none of you don't come here and tell me, oh, take him off the screen. Turn your head or put your head down. Yeah, I'm showing you, St. Lucians, the caliber of man you have in the Honorable Alan Shastney, a leader upon leaders, not easily rattled like some of them. You understand what I'm saying? Cool and collective. To the point where they're even talking about his pants now. They move from his collar to his pants. That's how cool he is. So I'm going to show you how uncool and forgetful your Prime Minister is. He's uncool and he is forgetful. It is called deliberate forgetfulness.
That's a very good question, but what I like the best is how we intend to address it. Intending to address it is not in my it's not in my past the stage where I intended when I can address it. But
so he passed the stage where he can address it, of course. So you, Lucian, got to watch your bread because he passed the stage where he can even remember based on what he's saying. So let's go back to the press conference. Can we? Should we? Shall we?
They said they would create one.
Digital economy?
A digital economy?
Yes. UWP mortgage guarantee program.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mortgage guarantee program.
Mm-hmm.
What is your take on these programs?
And okay, somebody also says there's some dead research.
Let me just give the press some advice. When you're asking the Prime Minister questions, you don't laugh, you don't grin with him. It shows like you're mocking both yourself, the opposition, and the Prime Minister. You got to be serious. Now, I'm not putting pressure on the gentleman, but when you ask questions like that, you want to keep your face as straight as possible so that the Prime Minister would not, anytime he see you smiling, he goes off. I tell you.
That's a very good question. But what I like the best is how we intend to address it.
Once you laugh or grin with the Prime Minister during a question, all fall down. So let's go over.
I just want to DBS, you remember that? Oh, you didn't? You don't? Probably you're too young.
Jerry.
There was a minister, government minister was very critical about the dairy segment, extremely critical. So much so, some of the artists had to come in defense.
Listen to the story.
It's passing strange that the government has downgraded the jazz festival. A government that says that too much money was spent on the jazz festival when they were in government.
Yes, too much money was spent on the jazz festival. It was bringing in nothing.
Ridiculous. Because here's a government that said that there's too much money in the jazz festival. Now, we have absolutely no issues with the dairy segment. You may recall that it was our government that started some time ago from when it was NDC.
Okay, let me go back.
Through NDC. Now NDC is or can get a spot on the jazz festival and get the same exposure. I'd like to get more explanation about what that is. Anybody can be an ambassador to be a guy. But I guess the Minister of Education will one day
about the social housing, and now with this new initiative with the Taiwanese, you want to spread it out to to do a social strata to more people.
More people get exposed, yes.
But what about the criteria? Would there be a criteria? Is there a timeline? Okay. Or the phases? Just a little clarification as to how that is unfold. Yes.
That $20 million house is a loan from the Taiwanese to the St. Lucia Development Bank. The BIMA contract had ended, and the courts validated that. I guess the Deputy Prime Minister said...
So hold. I didn't hear what the Prime Minister said there. He said that the BMAX contract was ended. Let's go back. I'll show you something again. Remember I told you guys about the hospital? You all didn't believe me, right? Commission. Giving you a building. Remember the story? You heard it here first? So let's hear this one here first. I'll show you something.
I believe in justice. I believe in the law. And I follow the law. Remember when you asked me about BMAX? I told you, as far as I was concerned, the BMAX contract had ended. And the courts validated that. I guess the Deputy Prime Minister will tell you a lot more about that. So you asked me about BMAX, and then you heard some person almost laughing at the BMAX site. I don't know where the BMAX site is.
So did you hear the Prime Minister saying that he don't know where the BMAX site is? You heard that yourself? The Prime Minister understands exactly what is going on here, And what he's doing is that he's playing with you, the people of St. Lucia. He don't need to form the fool like what he's doing there, The Prime Minister does not have to do all that. He just needs to talk right. Like the Bajans say, talk good. All he has to do is talk good, Just get to the point. The man beats around the bush, create a whole firestorm, and come back and tell you, where's the fire? There's no fire. After he out the fire, he will tell you there's none. Where's the fire? There's no fire. All the Prime Minister got to do is to talk good. His problem is that he's not talking good. He like to play in the river on the bank. Or steal Miss Liza. You know the song? I am a girl without a boy, moika wiye. I want somebody to call my own, moika wiye. Steal Miss Liza.
That's a very good question, but what I like the best is how we intend to address it.
So, like I was saying, folks, all he got to do is to come straight, Some of all the challenges that the Prime Minister is faced in, all you have to do is stop going and stop with all the games and the jokes. There's a time for that, of course. But he's adding the joke exactly where they need none. On serious matters, none at all is needed. Come straight. And when we start dancing to his music, then he comes crying. You can't even make a joke. You can't make a joke. Why is me? You can't even make a joke online. You know they'll come for you. It's because you're joking too much. You're joking on very important matters, Mr. Prime Minister. I'm not saying you're a bad person, of course. I'm just saying right now we'll have to vote you out. Because you're not Prime Ministering. You remember you were most readied. You said it, sir.
That's a very good question. But what I like the best is how
Yeah, but you said you were most readied, not me. You said it. Well, I know you're going to say you didn't say it, of course. And to show you the tape, but what can I say? So, let's go back to Mr. Prime Minister pretending like there was never a BMAX contract. First, he tell you it expired, and then he tell you, where's the BMAX thing? Where is it? Where is it? I don't see any BMAX. You see any BMAX?
I really want to find out where is the BMAX site. Where is it? I don't know.
Brethren, are you hearing? I will take the call just now. Are you hearing what the Prime Minister is saying to you? Are you hearing, folks? Let's listen again.
I tell you is that we've got planning approval now.
No, wait.
Complete plan that.
Listen.
I guess the Deputy Prime Minister will tell you a lot more about that. So you asked me about BMAX, and then you heard some person almost laughing that the BMAX site, I don't know where the BMAX site is. I really want to find out where is the BMAX site. Where is it? I don't know. What I can tell you is that we've got planning approval now. Complete planning approval for the local housing. And I also want to tell you that Cabinet has approved it, and the local housing project.
So on the BMAX, there was no approval, and you now got full approval.
Has been secured through the CIP. We've got planning approval.
Which CIP company, which CIP investor is financing it? What is going on here? How are you going to? How is the CIP? How is it a CIP funded project? Is it another company like BMAX? Is Galaxy still in St. Lucia as an agent? I am asking that question because there's no transparency. So my question is to the CIP folks and the Prime Minister, is Galaxy still what you call them, an agent for the CIP program? Are they? Yes or no? And if no, why are they still on your website as an agent? And which company, which one of them are involved, CIP company, are involved in this whole CIP, this whole new contract thing? You're not telling us who. All you say is CIP Finance, CIP Finance. How is it CIP Finance? I want to know.
Income criteria, we'll see how that goes. But I want to also tell you that the Proud project.
Let's move on.
I2U Talvan and Rockall. And the rest of it will be on land that the people have got cement sometimes. So the building boom is continuing based on these initiatives by the government.
And what would be the location for this latest housing initiative? Is there a location as yet, a site?
No, I2U Talvan and Rockall. And the rest of it will be on land that the people have got for stay.
Then he said Talvan and Rockall. Talvan and Rockall. This is the same government that stopped. Is it the Talvan project? I'm just asking questions, folks. Is this the same? And is the Talvan project a government project? I don't know. I'm just asking. I'm asking. I don't know. I'm asking. He mentioned two housing schemes. The housing minister said that there was going to be condos left and condos right and condos all over the country. Where are the condos? Where are the houses that have been built? Where are the housing projects that have been built for the last 4 years? Mr. Buddy and PM. Name me some of the housing projects that you undertook for the last 4 years. Talvan, how far is it? How many homes are there now? Rock Hall, how many homes are up there? Where's the condos that were promised to the people? What is your housing policy, Mr. Government? Now, I know the hacks don't care. Some of them have their own homes and lands and everything else. So apparently, they don't care with the younger ones or those of you who are struggling to get a piece of land or to get a home. They don't care much about you, of course. If you listen to them, they're good. Yeah, good. Yeah, we good. We don't need a house. We don't need land. But I'm asking you, as a government, I want you to name all the housing projects that you have built for the people of St. Lucia to deal with the housing deficit in the last 4 years. Me question. Okay, don't tell me about my mother, my cousin, my nose. I come from St. Vincent, go back to the country. You this, you pastor, and all kind of pasta, and all kind of macaroni and stuff. Oh, fine. You did that for 4 years. Quit you like men. Move on, you schmucks. Let's get on with the people's business. So the question is, after you've done all your steaming and your cussing and telling all the things that you do, the nastiness that you do, the unrighteousness that you do, I'm asking you to name all the housing projects, not housing repairs. I'm not talking about repair, put a roof there and put a piece of plywood. No. Or the 3 things in Dennery. I am not talking about those things. I am asking you, Mr. Government, because if you did not maliciously stop the Talvan project, all them things would have been done already. Housing, property, and spots, and everything would have been done. Huh? Let's take this call. Caller, you on the air. Caribbean American News Media Platform.
Good evening, Garfield.
Good
and
evening,
your listeners.
Mom.
I want to ask you a quick question, Garfield.
Talk to me.
I'm listening to you there. Just answer this for me. Can you imagine if the United Workers' Party was in power now, and you see the kinds of things that have taken place over the past 4 years, the kind of no answer questions, the kind of arrogance, the kind of things disappearing, the kind of egregious things being done, do you think United Workers' Party would have even lasted 2 years doing the kinds of things that this government have been doing for over 4 years?
Well, the SLP would have been in the streets.
They would have been, based on how they behave in the 3 real years that Alan Chastney was in power. Because the other part of the 5 years, plus that they talk about 5 years and a month or 2 months, was full of COVID. He was fighting for lives and livelihood. And we saw their behavior, their demonstrations, their this, their that. The hacks will tell us. You must not oppose. As opposition, you need to keep quiet. You need those things that have been done. You need not to play the videos. You need not to bring up the mistakes that the Prime Minister is making and his government. You need not to say that when he keeps saying, I did not say it, and tomorrow we demati him and we show the video where he said it, but he does not remember. You think they would leave Alan Chastney there? No, they wouldn't. They would have made so much noise that in 2 years of government, if we had done what they are doing now, the Alan Chastney government would have been dragged out of power. But today, they are there still doing those egregious things. The journalists, so they call themselves. Do you ever see a mockery like that, like a circus? You look at a journalist at press conferences around the world, in the developed world, especially looking at American journalists, you see them professional. They ask their questions. They may be juggling to ask questions, but you see them giggling and laughing and mocking the. And while they giggle with the Prime Minister, as if it's a set of comrades that's sitting in a place just chatting instead of dealing with the business of the people and being in a way that they can answer the hard questions that the people want them to ask and to report back, They behave as if the government is there and they are Lord. We are not. We are not in this kind of government where you cannot speak. This is a democracy. And democratic journalists are supposed to be bringing the truth to people. I am saying to people that Alan Chastney and his team have done everything in their power, so they cannot be accused of not informing the nation, not responding, not giving the answers like they did in 2021. They have answered, they have defended, they have bring the truth. It is up to St. Lucians now to listen to this mockery and this joke of a government that we have and do the right thing. Because your Alan Chastney has proven when you put together, there's no comparison. We need to get this joke of a government off our pace because this is really disrespectful to any right-thinking, intelligent. Now, mind you, I'm not saying educated, because intelligence comes before books. Any right-thinking, intelligent person would not want themselves to be continued being disrespected by the people they put in power, and now as if they are the ones that's beneath them and they can't speak. Garfield, I am really upset, and I'm going to get off because I really want you to talk about what you're speaking about there. Just ask what you think about what's going on right now. I thank you. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, sis. Thank you so much. That was Dr. Fletcher. So let's go back to the Prime Minister quickly before we leave. I know it's very late in your country. It's early over here by me.
There's not yet.
No location is going to people asking less or they've never spoken about bolums. My new candidates have spoken about and say, let me open my own office. I told you before, our achievements will see us through. Quote people, achievements will see us through. She's been a community doctor all the time. It shows you she's about service. She's about serving people. Campaign for people like you that have not that have just done your job as journalists. No, it can't. He was abused. Then when John Paul, in his normal, congenial way, some of us are different, when he decided that in the Creole Festival, it is on our record and our achievements. That's on its side. But you know, let me just go back a little bit about debates. You must have heard about the health and security levy. You heard the leader of the opposition. He vehemently said that the health and security levy was for 2 years. And he also said that I had never come back to tell the public that it was not for 2 years. The Prime Minister of St. Lucia never said that health and security levy was 2 years.
Mr. Prime Minister, I just want to remind you that you are the Prime Minister and you tabled a bill maybe 2 years ago for a security and health levy, 2.5%. And remember when you said it's not going to affect food, and then we saw KFC increasing and they blamed it at the time on the levy. Do you remember that? Do you remember that you in the House, when you tabled that bill, in that bill, it says, and it shall be for a period of 2 years, commencing. Remember, you had to delay it because of bad start, false start, not real start, not ready yet. Huh? Remember the business people were saying to you, Mr. Prime Minister, no, it's not ready yet. No. No. You remember all the drama? And remember when you came back after 2 years to sit to extend this same levy, instead of removing it, you extended it. And even when you implemented the 2.5%, the people of St. Lucia was catching their nose. They were struggling at the supermarket. And while you took off that on lumbers and plywood and galvanized, they were hungry. Not hungry. I will never use the word hungry. They wanted access to food. They wanted the ability to purchase their own food. Many of them were going to the supermarket and they were pulling back, they were putting back stuff. Some of them were not even touching a hand truck, a trolley. Not even a basket they were holding their groceries in their hands. Don't tell me you didn't know that. It was tough and they were begging you, please, Mr. Prime Minister, ease the pressure on us. You know what you did? You added that 2.5 on their backs. You know what you did? You never brought down the gas. That's what you did. And now, election season, you're trying to build up your momentum. You're now saying, hey, we put some stuff on the VAT. Yes, we've added more stuff, you know. And then you extended that 2.5%, and now you're telling them that it was, in other words, if you're not saying it was for 2 years, then your government seems to be a very bad government. You kept that burden on the people. You kept that weight on their back and hoping that they will forget all their sorrows and dance to your music now. And you know what you're trying to do? As you do always, you blame it on the opposition leader. Poor Mr. Opposition Leader. Poor Mr. Opposition Leader. If Mr. Opposition Leader was the government, Cornute Kaibon. We would have a hospital, we would have an airport, we would have had more infrastructures, we will have the Tavern project finished, more housing projects. Think about it, friends. There would be no 2.5% of the backs of the citizens. Think about the possibilities. But instead, Mr. Prime Minister points his finger and placed all the sins of his party on the opposition leader. And when he can't point it, he talks about his skin. Then he talks about his clothing. And that's what you need to reset as a nation.
I went to the parliament and I read the excerpt from my budget address while listed the health and security levy. Then I went to the law that was passed in both the Senate and the House of Assembly that never said it was 2 years. No one, as you can tell, you haven't even asked the question. You haven't even asked the question, whether he forgot or whether he missed it. No commentator, we've forgotten that. How can I debate in that level? Tell me, how is it possible to debate on that? I want you to help me. How could I debate with that? That's a very good question. Of misinformation? I can't. I can't debate. I mean, things that are clear.
Reverend, the question was asked to the Prime Minister whether he is interested in debating the opposition. All I can tell you is that he pay. That's all. That's just the truth. You see all the storytelling you there? How can I debate him? He said about the 2.5%, and we have showed you where Mr. Pear have misled the citizens over and over again. So the question is, how can Mr. Shastney debate you, sir? How about that? My advice to you is to go to the debate. Remember, you're the most readied, and you have done so much for St. Lucia. You have done more than John Compton and anybody else. Just go to the debate and talk about what you did, your achievement. You don't have to talk about the other stuff, like the short pants and the colonial masters and all those things. You don't need to talk about that, Mr. Prime Minister. Just talk about your good deeds. Oh, you did so well by the people of St. Lucia. Just go to the debate and debate Mr. Shastney. You said Mr. Shastney have committed a whole lot of political atrocities and sins. Here's a good time to debate him. You think he's weak like that, of course. Go to the debate. All the story you're giving the reporter, say yes and go.
I have always asked for St. Lucia, let's have a seasoned policy debate. How can I debate with someone who says that
Wait, hold on.
When I gave you like the health and security levy example, how can I debate with somebody who refuses to accept the verdict of a court?
You did it. Anybody can do it. I can say I don't support it. I don't think it's right. What's wrong with that? You don't do the debating because of that?
Criteria is well set. Must be. But we have nothing to hide. Our achievements are clear.
So come to the debate and discuss your achievement.
Thank you very much, Jerry. Thank you. Yeah, you have a question?
Afternoon, Mr. Prime Minister. Just one more question, though, just before you go. So last week, before the sitting of Senate, we recently just saw the swearing in of 2 brand new senators.
Okay, so I'm going to go. That is of no significance to me, people. The government change senators, people, you switch around, especially as you get into an election year or so, you do changes. So that's not even here or there. So I say welcome to the new senators. You all go out there and make your country proud. That's all I can say. All right? But let me tell you something. The Prime Minister says that the hospital, very confusing, of course. All he had to say to you, let's put it this way, if I'm the Prime Minister. The building is finished, folks. Yay, it's finished. Guess what? We are now at phase 2. We are doing the commissioning now. Yes, so we're going to move the people from the stadium into the hospital, and everything is going to be fine. We're going to have a brand new operations over there at St. Jude's. Yay, vote us in. We won. Instead, Prime Minister going all around the train. Still Miss Liza, Mweka Wiye, and just going around the train. Around the ring. And he's going around. So he says, well, the building, of course, the building is staying. The building is okay. But commissioning, it will take time to commission. Look at OKU. Look at how long we had it sitting there. We had a big naming ceremony for thousands of dollars, of course, and it was just sitting there. And it took COVID-19 to force Alan Shasta to open it. Yeah, we couldn't open it, but we want him to open it, of course. And because of COVID, he had to open it. That's the clown show that you have in your country. But of course, you want me to go back to St. Vincent. That's what you're saying. Ain't nothing wrong with St. Vincent. I can go back there. We have a brand new wharf. And the Prime Minister went to see the wharf in Kingston, the brand new wharf. Ralph Gonsalves took him on a tour. And the Prime Minister was like, wow, this is amazing. This is beautiful. By the way, how much it costs? Almost what? $1 billion? Yeah, man, I'm proud it's finished so quickly, and I'm impressed. I love it. It's beautiful. And then he comes back to his country, and he says to the opposition leader, your airport is too expensive, almost $1 billion for the airport. I mean, how can you do that? So he goes onto foreign soil, big up their projects, and come back to your country and tell you an airport is too expensive and too big for you. That, by the way, you're not paying for. Travelers are paying for it. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? The kind of mix-upness, bouillon without salt that you're getting. Goes overseas and do the grand turning of a new airport in Dominica. Goes to St. Vincent, take a tour of a brand new state-of-the-art port. Love it. Wow, beautiful. Over $700 million port. Rav says the port will pay for itself. Prime Minister says the airport can't pay for itself and it's too expensive for St. Lucia. And by the way, upstairs and downstairs, I've never seen such things. And who do you want to vote for going forward? Do you want that type of leadership? Goes on foreign soil to say that their big projects are good and yours is bad? And up to now, you can't get an airport. And a big hospital building is sitting there because he said there was nothing in it. It was a construction site, oh, Mr. Prime Minister. How can you get something in it when it's a construction site? It's in progress. So you wanted everything in it before everything could have been in it? They were doing the outside. They had finished with the cladding. It had to be sealed. He said it was leaking. If it's not sealed, it's going to leak. But then he goes to St. Vincent. By the way, before the wharf in St. Vincent, they the port in St. Vincent was finished, it was leaking because it was not completed. It was not sealed. So it was leaking, Mr. Prime Minister. Now you're rejoicing over this nice Ralph building. But then your hospital, you downplay it. It's the worst thing. It's a box. Ralph Gonsalves built a box in St. Vincent, and you love the box in St. Vincent. The port in Castries, the new port in Kingston is a box, a big box. A big state-of-the-art box. But you have a box in your country and you refuse to seal it and to fix it for the use of the people. You need to be voted out. And by the way, Ralph go in and you go in with him. All them red people, we retire them, we will change their color. And by the way, I heard that there's a guy called Orange somewhere in Castries that is out there trying to mix up the thing a bit, bring all colors together. Why is me? It's not me. It's not me. I'm not independent. Yes, I 100% code yellow. Folks, I am out of here. So you have yourselves a beautiful night. The time has changed, of course. So some adjustments. Those of you on the prayer line, we're trying to reset the time. The time is doing me some stuff there, so I got to reorganize the time. So we'll be back on by the grace of God. And our platform here, for those of you who are in the United States, will be on at 7. For those in St. Lucia, we'll be on at 8 o'clock. All right? But see you guys on Saturday. And we look forward to News on the Go tomorrow and on Thursday. Dormez bien. Have a good night, folks. Why are you all doing up so late? All right. Blessings to all. All right? Good. See you, I'm leaving on a jet plane. I don't know when I'll be back again. Good night, folks, as I bid thee good night.
King and Kenson Kazime stopped the $15 million Rodney Bay Highway expansion project because they said the project was overpriced. Now they have to pay the contractor $21 million and are borrowing an additional $50 million to complete the same road. This is wrong. You deserve better. Vote UWP to make it right. Philip J. Pierre.